Now, it's a lot of responsibility built around it. So then, with responsibility comes some expectations. That I wanted to maneuver this path, and this is what it's my kid, but I wanted to go. Everybody knows that their child, and your business is your child, has its own life and own destiny.
Yeah.
But somewhere, as a father, as a parent, you want to control that destiny. So, and when it's not going right, that's what I call a challenge.
Me 2 times, shift gear, 6th gear, mash it till I get there. Philadelphia state of mind until I get my head clear. DMV stand up, Baltimore and what? The politics of everything suck, so just man up. Don't know what to stand for, at least I'm still upright, even those on the down low. Not me, I'm me, balls in my hand when I'm spitting, cause my potency's stronger than any man's. And I'm never laying down, feet are not in the sand. Only vacations we get are at the bottom of a glass. Top me off again, popping vodka for a tan. This fifth is like a time machine, a weekend in Japan. Line by line, my rhymes revealing what's inside of me. Nothing to be proud of, but at least I get it out of me. How did he trick the doctor out of a lobotomy? Whatever he's got, you'll probably be put inside a bottle. Please, FDA approval, then if it's
Okay. You want to come in front, or?
What's up?
You want to come in front?
Okay, you want to start?
Yeah, let's do that. So Brian, the first question I wanted to ask you was that how did you do this so fast? Like, you came on the scene and influenced it. All of a sudden, everyone's talking about it.
Yeah, Influencive started in January 2016. It started as like a personal project because I wanted a platform to write on. I wanted to be a writer on Forbes and Entrepreneur Magazine and Inc. Magazine,
right?
But they wouldn't give me a shot.
Right.
So I said, okay, I'm just going to make my own site.
Right.
And I had this domain, influencive.com. I loved the name.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I'll create a platform that I can just write on. At first, honestly, my content was trash. It was not very good.
Okay.
And what happened was, in time, I started sharing it with my friends and stuff, and they would just give me feedback and say like, oh, next time you should do this better and that better. So I just got better and better naturally through actual feedback from people. And over time, people just started loving the content. And then my friend said, hey, can I write for it too? And I said, sure. And then I just kind of created this community of people that...
So how long between you having, you being the only person writing and then having some people walking in?
About 2 months.
Oh, just 2 months?
About 2 months, yeah. And then I had friends start asking me to write for it as well.
Right.
You know, writing for it as well, and they started sharing things. And here's an interesting thing. Most people think that you need this huge platform to start making something go viral initially, but you don't. If you have, if I have one new writer that shares it out to his Facebook audience, for example, that might be 10 people that might share it out to 10 more people, to 20 more people, to you can reach 10,000 people just by having one writer that has a semi-small following. So by really focusing on those relationships, I realized I was in the relationship business.
Right.
Focusing on the relationships and treating people with actual respect. So I started to realize that.
Right. So actually spending time building relationships, and then that guy or that friend of yours believing in your content, or the whole project, and then writing for you, and then so he's got a stake in it, that he's invested in it emotionally.
And what I did was, instead of saying, a lot of other publications, they'll say, oh, great article, we're just going to change it around a little bit on you, and then it becomes like not your voice anymore. If we were doing a video right now, and I went after and changed your voice literally in the video and said what I wanted to say over your voice, that's what people do with articles.
Ah, nice. I like the way you put it. Right.
So we say, hey, we're going to give you a shot, put it out there, we'll see how it does.
Right.
And that's it. And then it's your people that know you will say, that's in his voice. You know, that sounds like him.
Right.
So and they're going to like it or not like it.
Right.
It's at least it's in your voice. It's not changed.
Right. So what's the one piece of? I know it's difficult to just narrow it down to one. But what would be the one thing that you would say to somebody who's starting afresh?
Yeah.
Because when you're starting afresh, you're like, you know what? I've got no one who knows me. My website is just just one dot in the whole universe, and nobody cares.
The interesting thing is, I think everybody looks for a shortcut. They look for a secret hack that's going to make their lives better. And they want a method. They want scientific ways to do something. Even dating, people come up with these techniques like how I'm going to get more girls and guys and all these different things, right? But I think it really, at the end of the day, what it worked for me was, and it sounds really simple, but it's actually super powerful. It boiled down to being a good person and actually putting my attention on the other person, like helping people as much as possible.
Right.
Like if I'm meeting you for the first time, I'm thinking, the entire thing I'm thinking in my mind is, what can I do for them that would be valuable for them? How can I help them?
Right.
as opposed to like trying to pull something out of you, like, how am I going to make money off this guy? How am I going to get him as a client or something? Like, I'm not even thinking that. Like, that's the last thing on my mind. I'm thinking about what can I do that's valuable to them? How can I help them? How can I promote them? How can I push their message out to the world, whatever it might be? So really being a good person, I think, is overlooked so commonly. I think people are always looking for like some secret method, but really that was for me the secret method.
So being a good person means you have to have empathy, patience, willingness to listen to the other guy, you know, and put their interest before yours. It has a lot of components built into it, right?
But here's the thing. Yes, exactly. When people want to reach a big audience, they stop thinking about individual relationships. They think about reaching thousands and thousands of people. Right. But they stop thinking about, okay, like, what is important to you right now? Like, so I'm thinking about individual relationships, one person. And I think in the social media space and influencer space and entrepreneur space, that gets lost because people are trying to figure out how to reach 100,000 people. But if you can't figure out how to affect one, how are you going to affect 100,000?
Right. So where are you taking it now?
I just want to reach as many people as possible. I think people are getting the message. They're getting like the unconventional wisdom thing, and they're getting like the, different ideas of how to, personal development to business and social media and all these different things. So really it's about reaching as many people as possible right now. That was always the goal for me. Making money with Influencive wasn't my goal, and it never will be. It's just about the social impact of reaching as many people as possible and helping them, because I think there's a lot of people with cool ideas, not just me, that want to help people, so I'm just reaching as many as possible. So we spoke about India being such a big market or whatever. Have you been? I have, yeah.
Oh, you have?
I was in Mumbai 2 years ago. My fiance is actually, her family is from Mumbai.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
I loved it. I wasn't, like, I heard like some weird comments about going there, and I was kind of unsure. But I went there and actually thought it was amazing. Like, I thought everyone was super friendly, and like the food was great. Everything was, I mean, in my opinion, I loved it. So
So any plans of coming now?
Probably go back. I don't have any specific plans, but half of her family is in Mumbai, and I want to see other parts of the country too. So next time I want to go to maybe Delhi and other places as well. Yeah.
What are the challenges while you're building this? What's keeping you awake at night, or stressed, or is there something that bothers you to say, it's not going the way? Because every time, see, you start off with a notion, but once it builds up and other people are invested into it, and the way it's going, I hear from everywhere the Influencive is doing well, and it's an authority that everybody should reckon with. Now, it's a lot of responsibility built around it. So then, with responsibility comes some expectations that I wanted to maneuver this path, and this is what it's my kid, but I wanted to go. Everybody knows that their child, and your business is your child, has its own life and own destiny. But somewhere, as a father, as a parent, you want to control that destiny. So, and when it's not going right, that's what I call a challenge. So, any challenges to that effect?
I think we are our own worst enemy sometimes. Sometimes, like negative self-talk or not believing in yourself. And I think, especially for entrepreneurs, I think the problem for all of us, and me especially, is even our own brain. Our brain is designed to keep us alive. So when we get a new idea, when we're excited about something, our brain says, whoa, stop, don't do that, because it's not used to that new thing that hasn't kept us alive before. So sometimes you can talk yourself out of doing something, and I mean, that's been the trap for me probably my whole life, is like, I'll get really excited about something and then start talking myself out of it. But I started to rewire my brain to when that happens, I say, no, go forward, keep going anyways. So that rewiring process for me has been huge. And
does that also include being in the company of right people who will keep pushing you forward?
Exactly. They can see like, oh, you're down today, like I need to help you get back up, or you're too up today, I need to like pull you back to reality a little bit. So it's having the right people around you that kind of balance you out, like. So I think that's definitely important. Yeah.
So how do you we'll walk back?
Yep.
How do you keep yourself motivated when a video goes viral, or when I say viral means not just for the statistics, but for the fact that you've impacted so many extra people? Is that what keeps you going? That it's working.
Yeah.
Or there are some some dull days or dull weeks where you feel, oh my God, it's not taking off the way I thought it should.
To me, it goes back to those one-on-one encounters where I'll get a message, I'll get a DM on Instagram, or I'll get a message on Twitter from somebody, and they'll say, "Man, I was really down today, and I watched your video or I saw your article.
Oh my God,
and
that's amazing.
And I feel so much better."
Right.
And they could be in any country in the world.
Right.
Doesn't matter where they are to me. They could be anywhere. And just seeing those one-on-one reactions to things really is what keeps me going.
Right.
I have videos that have done tens of millions of views. That means nothing to me. I mean, it means something, but it doesn't mean as much to me as getting a personal message and saying, "Oh man, somebody I don't know."
Right.
I'll just look through my messages and I'll see, "Oh, I was really feeling like crap today, and I saw your article, and I just feel so much better."
So in terms of numbers, so if somebody, anybody who's watching this video and wants to have a content platform like you do,
Yeah.
so what are the first few steps? You said you have to be passionate about it. It has to come from within. You have to be a good person. But in terms of some technical, I know we don't want to use the word hacks, but are there some things that you've learned over time? Said, I wish I'd done it differently. It would have been faster results. Although yours is great. I love the story because it is so fast. 2016, you said you write a blog, and now it's Influencive.com that everybody's talking about.
Yeah, I think here's the first mistake that people make is they try to perfect the content.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is they get in this perpetual motion of never ever publishing anything because they want to make it perfect.
Right.
What I did was I put stuff out that I didn't know if it was any good. I put it out there. People said, that wasn't so good.
Right.
But what happened was I was like, oh man, I need to do better next time.
Right.
So I kept going, and I got feedback along the way. So I think the first step for putting something together is you can use WordPress. You can technically figure out how to set it up by doing stuff like getting a server or somewhere and setting up WordPress. But the first, or even like publishing on Medium, for example, is another easy one, or LinkedIn. If you don't want to create your own site, you can just publish there. But the first step really is putting something out there as fast as possible. If someone's watching this today, put something out tomorrow. Force yourself to put something out, and what'll happen is you'll naturally get better because you're going to put that out to your friends and your family, and people are going to see that.
Right.
And that's the biggest step, because then you're going to naturally want to do better because people are saying it's either good or bad. Maybe it'll be great, but if it's not, you'll at least get feedback to do better and better and better. So I think that's the first step, is just putting something out there. People try to create the perfect content, but you're not going to get perfect if you don't just start today.
Got it.
So I think that's the first step.
Excellent. That's a good point.
Just starting.
You're always looking for more writers, people with different ideas or whatever.
Yeah.
So this video that we're doing, if it reaches out to a lot of people in India and different parts of the world. So there are writers who can, how do they reach you?
So influencive.com/contribute, and they can put in like an application to be a writer.
Okay.
And we'll take a look at it, and it has nothing to do with their following. Just like if you come up with a cool idea, put it on there. And,
Right. So you're accepting writers from everywhere?
Yeah, anywhere.
So
We have writers in India now.
Oh, you do?
We have a couple.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah,
excellent.
I think maybe like 3 or 4.
And in terms of future strategy, do you think there's going to be an Influencive.ca, .in, .china?
We own most of them, but I think so. Yeah, I think so. I want to reach more countries. I don't know if we'll actually set them up. I think they may just redirect back to Influencive.com.
Right.
But we may have that.
Right. No, I'm asking because I want people who are listening to this eventually to be able to come back with from all over the world if they want to have business partnerships or alliances or contributors. I want them to come back, and they I know because this video, most of it goes to a lot of audiences in India, and I know they will instantly come back to be wanting to help here.
We love India.
And we look forward to having you there. We had a bit of a chat which we won't disclose here much, but we'll talk about that, and we look forward to seeing you there soon.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Sure.
Awesome, man.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.